Have you ever watched a GTA mod showcase and wondered, can you actually beat the game like that? Well, while getting my daily 5 minutes of thinking in, that question kept on popping into my head. So here we are. First off, what does it actually mean to be Spider-Man? Besides the fascination with latex, it means having the powers. Swinging webs and web tethers, I can pretty much do anything Peter can do, and a teeny bit more. It also means that I can't use guns, because, duh, Spider-Man doesn't kill. Okay, he kills sometimes, but don't worry. No one was harmed in the making of this video. Except for me. Finally, in the last of the rules, there will be no operating, controlling, or driving any vehicles, because, again, duh, Spider-Man doesn't drive, right? Any of you bring up the spider buggy, and I will hunt you and your loved ones down. Oh, spider buggy? I just got it, because a spider is kind of like a bug and a buggy is a type of car. That's actually really smart. Seriously though, you better sleep with both eyes open. Or just don't sleep. Yeah, that's not sleeping. Being more serious, I would like to thank you for all the support you've been giving me recently. And that's why I'm doing a giveaway. I'm giving away 4 $25 Amazon gift cards. But there is a slight catch. The gift card codes are hidden throughout this video. An example is now shown on screen. Again, thanks, and here's a quick tip. Jumping around the video won't work. Anyways, good luck hunting and enjoy the video. Fair warning, I will not be using any Spider-Man skins throughout the entire video because it just broke missions. I spent so long trying to get it to work, but the closest I got was making myself really hairy. Wait, what? What's happening? What am I? Oh. Okay, I think I figured it out now. Now, before getting into it, I used 2 Spider-Man mods, which can both be found below. And just so that we're clear, anything within these mods is allowed. And I mean anything. Also, I'm allowed to enter cars, sit in them, but no driving. Now, with the rules out of the way, this is the part where I beg. No! Seriously, a lot of time has gone into this. I have a 500 gigabyte folder just for footage. Alright, this is future me. I double checked and it turns out there was a slight underestimation. It's actually a terabyte. I'm in pain, so if you enjoy, please consider liking, subscribing, and rewatching this video as many times as possible. That's a joke. No, it isn't. So, the game starts off with our noble hero stopping a bank robbery. Oh, we're helping? Okay, sure. Spider-Man's just diversifying into murder. We had to hold some people at gunpoint, blow the safe up. You've been to a bank robbery before, you get it. But right here's where things started to get a little funky. I was able to turn on my mods. At first, it didn't change much. We grabbed the cash, and then, oh no, a moral dilemma. Am I gonna hurt this poor man who's just trying to do his job? Most definitely, and without hesitation. But the real question is, can I do it? What are these immense powers that I hold? Well, here goes nothing. Oh, I meant to do that, and the game hasn't crashed yet. That's a plus. Surprisingly, my plan actually worked. Whatever my plan was. Now, say if I try to run for the exit, but our partner Michael, for some reason, is now a super-powered god who doesn't know how to control his powers. Michael? Buddy? Are you in pain? Okay, redundant question, that looks like living hell. In between screams of pain, Michael would often randomly hurt himself, which means he most definitely wants to be put out of his AI existence. But hold up, what happens when an AI accidentally becomes sentient? That's right, it also becomes homicidal. Yeah, it killed Brad. Needless to say, the game didn't like the mod situation at all. I had to restart. Give me a kiss, Michael. After saving Michael again, it was all good, except for our other partner, Brad. Brad, where are you going? Brad, we have a... Okay, Michael, just you and... Okay, it's just me. I had to restart here more times than I can count to. so about 6. It was always one problem after another, Brad running away from home, Michael becoming a wall, and so on. Nevertheless, I eventually found that I constantly need to be turning my mods on and off to actually continue. Then it was time for actual combat, and oh boy, this was pain. Yeah, no matter what I did, someone always ended up dying, and that person always ended up being me. We have more abilities than you might think, including concussion-causing punches, whatever this is, yeah. And actually, legit bombs. They are web bombs though, so don't worry. I mean, these cops are still dead, but it's in Spidey style. After my fun time testing out how many bones there are in the human skeleton by breaking them one at a time, we ran away, and also ran into quite a large problem. How do I say this nicely? Our driver bought a farm in the countryside and moved there, aka a bullet obliterated his gray matter, and now it's up to us. I know this may be shocking, so if you have a heart condition, brace yourself, but surprise, someone who can't drive doesn't make the best getaway driver.
We're getting there!
Yeah, about that, Michael, we aren't really getting anywhere. Besides, maybe jail. This was a little annoying, but you know, I have all these Spidey powers, so I'm not all too worried. That's not good. Yeah, for some reason, no matter what I did, the game always thought I abandoned the car. Now, this was a little bit confusing because I'm standing right next to the damn thing. Again, I wasn't worried though because I have even more powers I haven't shown. I mean, look at him go. Now, this is a quality Uber ride, Michael, how's your seat? Comfortable? If you're thirsty, there's waters in the back there. God damn it. Yep, another dead end. Well, at least nobody actually ended up dead this time, which I can't say often. Here I actually started to lose a little hope. I mean, the game's called Grand Theft Auto. You probably have to auto at least a little bit. You might be wondering why I'm talking about this section so much, and it's because I spent an hour here. Going back to Michael, I tried using another car to pull our car, and nothing. I was just grasping for straws. Honestly, I thought about scrapping the entire video here, because if I can't get past the tutorial, then what's the point? But then I found the answer, because duh, do you even know who you're talking to here? I don't like to brag, but I recently took an IQ test, and it turns out I'm in the 1%. No, editor, it's more like, you know, to the left? Yeah, I'm so incredibly brain deficient that I'm able to come up with ideas that you would never even think of because they're so brain dead. Sometimes when you have a really complex problem, all you really need is a really stupid answer. Here's what I found. The basics are that when I leave the car, a timer starts, and if that timer runs out, I fail. That being said, entering the car again would reset that timer. Roughly speaking, I have around 9 seconds outside of the car before the game fails me. So I developed this new strategy. I would get out of the car, run a little bit ahead, give it a little tug with a web, and then hop back in. Now with this blazing fast new technique, I was able to move at a whopping 0.01 miles per hour. Didn't catch what I just said? It doesn't matter. All you really need to know is that I can now move. Kinda. Man, you guys talk all this hubbub about a train, but it still hasn't passed yet. Don't worry, we have plenty of time. Yeah, I was finally able to make it, and it only took 30 minutes of good solid tugging. God. So our car crashes, and unfortunately, Brad and Michael get shot. Trevor decided to ditch the deadweight, and we started to get shot at. Ah, crap. 3 cop cars full of enemies. Well, time to crack out the old neck cracking skills. Let me just get ready, back up, and... Oh, it's over. That was eventful. We then did some more classic Spider-Man stuff. Taking a hostage. Trevor runs out into the snow, and quick cut to Michael's funeral, we find out that he's still alive. Do I have to fake shock? I mean, he's on the cover of the box. That would be like if Harry died in the first 5 minutes of Harry Potter. Really? He's gonna stay alive? Yeah, his name is in the title.
You're a wizard, Harry.
So now, in current day as Michael, we had to sit through some therapy with Mr. Wannabe Bob Ross, and you know, they said the normal basic therapist stuff. It isn't normal to hurt yourself for these challenges, they're affecting your mental health, yada yada yada. After that, we get introduced to our other main character, Franklin, the only likable guy in this entire game, selling cars at exorbitant interest rates and then repossessing them back. It's like stealing, except no, it's pretty much just stealing. Speaking of morally dubious actions, we had to race our friend Lamar on the streets. In cars. Yeah, it's another roadblock. As you may or may not know, Lamar goes incredibly fast. You know, like cars do. Needless to say, my slow tugging strategy won't work. Granted, this time I was able to actually pick up my car, but still, I was being left in the absolute dust. So, with no new ideas, my next immediate thought was to practice the time-honored tradition of cheating. I first tried popping Lamar's tires, but unfortunately, that didn't really work with webs. While thinking of other ways to dishonor my family's name, it came to me. This Spider-Man mod has tethers, like in Just Cause. So if I place one tether on Lamar's car and one on mine, it's all coming off. No, please, that was a guess. Oh, stop it, Lamar. Slow down. No. Just gotta. Oh. Lamar. I don't think this car works anymore, Lamar.
Whatever, home.
Surprisingly, my plan went off without a hitch. Well, besides my car getting torn several new ones from the inside out.
That bucket don't look like the whip we picked up.
Well, I wouldn't really call it a bucket per se, because buckets have uses. This is a crime against God. So we finished off the race and had to drop off the cars. Have you ever wondered where Lamar goes after he leaves you to the cops? Well, I'll tell you, he teleports to the car dealership. I would know this because my tether warped us through reality to follow him.
Your auntie Denise, with all that ass, nigga, she got ass.
Alright, I'd rather jump off a building than listen to any more of this conversation. We took Lamar over to our house and then the infamous scene.
Well, nigga, maybe you got rid of that old yee ass haircut you got, you get some bitches on your dick.
Yeah, Franklin, without doing any input, got sick of Lamar and flexed on him with a flip. The AI is becoming sentient. Skynet starts with Franklin flipping. Wait, I just realized, a young man, Franklin, living with his aunt, with no uncle? Oh my god, I am Spider-Man. If he had mild lead poisoning. Now, finally being in the open, I got to try it. Web swinging. Well, I accidentally murdered some people first, but then web swinging. What am I attaching to? I don't care. This is sick. We met up with our boss and learned that we got Employee of the Month for the stellar work we did last job. The only problem was that Lamar wasn't too happy.
You know what I'm talking about? I take no prisoners. I go hard doing this shit. Big dog, big nuts.
Hell yeah, Lamar. Wait, Franklin, what are you doing? You don't need to check, just take him on his word. At any rate, our boss gave us another repo job, this time in a more shady area.
Hey, you still rolling with that old raggedy ass hair?
Oh, what were you saying about my hair again? Oh, Lamar, it was just a prank. Are you okay? Ugh, fine, I think this'll help. Unfortunately, I had to restart due to the, corpse, and after respawning, we ran into a slight problem. Lamar's ghost was haunting me. Some Lamar on Lamar action! After the superior Lamar won, he sucked the soul of his inferior clone in order to assert his dominance. Anyways, we have a repo job to do. Now this section kind of sucked, because usually you drive all the way to the job. So I had to come up with a new strategy, and to be honest, I'm kinda proud of it. It's called walking. Oh, Lamar, if you're gonna run, please try to avoid the cars next time. Oh, he's got it. Let's go. Come on. After babysitting Lamar all the way to our destination, we needed to find a bike and repossess it. Lamar, silly goose, you missed. Here, let me help. We looked around a little bit, but we just couldn't find the bike. What we did find was a bunch of corpses. Yep, we found all those guys just like that. Or that's what I told the cops. Thankfully, once we got jumped, I was able to tap into my inner Skyrim, more specifically, the shouts. Oh, Hello there. Being serious, this is one of Peter's gadgets. It's also one of Peter's murder weapons. We then finally got the bike, but unfortunately, this mod didn't allow me to directly pick it up. So I had to do some thinking. You can guess how that went. But luckily, I actually thought of something. I can directly pick up cars, but not bikes. So what if I just tether a car to a bike and then carried the car? Now the bike is just trailing behind, and surprisingly it worked just fine. With that mission done, I went back to my boss and he gave me a new job. This Jimmy guy hasn't paid for his car, so it's time for some breaking and entering. And by breaking, I mean spines. Take out the gardener, okay. He's just a normal, random, innocent guy, so let's try to go non-lethal. Right, Franklin? Anyways, I got into the car, and Michael, from the beginning of the game, hops out from the back and puts a gun to our head. Now, while this was shocking, I had other questions, like, why are you back there under a blanket, and how long have you been waiting? Is this what people over 30 do for fun? So Michael, now aware of our stealing, wants us to drive to the car dealership, and luckily I found that I could carry the car there.
That's a 9mm semi-automatic pushed against your skull.
No, that's a 9mm semi-automatic pushed against nothing. Idiot. It was right here where I found out that I could actually swing while holding a car. How is this possible? I have no clue. Is it awesome? Yes. I swung the car over to Simeon, but unfortunately, I wasn't allowed to enter the car once we got there. It was locked. So, restarting, I realized that you're only allowed to enter the car once. So, what if I just don't enter it? Instead of waking up Michael, I picked up the car first and brought it all the way to the dealership and then was able to hop in. This worked and the next cutscene would start. The only problem was that now Michael wants us to ram the car into the dealership. Do I have to explain the problem any further? So yeah, jokes aside, add 1 to the driving counter. Wait, why would anyone ever use this camera angle? You can't see anything. Well, actually, I've been doing pretty well so far. So after handing in our resignation letter, which was, we get to play as Michael and beat the crap out of Simeon.
Are you brain dead?
Nope, but you definitely are now. My punches, expectedly, had a little too much kick to them. So did my kicks. Let's just say Simeon was Simi-gone. I killed a man. So after getting the whole car mess sorted out, Franklin came over to my house for some drinks, which was a little surprising because, you know, I was just threatening to murder him 5 seconds ago. Well, I guess Stockholm Syndrome kicks in pretty quick nowadays. Anyways, we decided to head out to a bar. On our way to the bar, we learned that our son, Jimmy, was trying to sell our yacht when it got stolen with him inside of it. Now, I don't like to be harsh, but Jimmy is a walking mistake of a person. So I can see how we're related. We catch up to the boat and this is a chase. And not just any chase, one that was genetically engineered to cause me as much pain as possible. See, I need to follow the boat, so I immediately went to tethering, but all it did was turn Franklin into a pinball. So instead, I just went on to carrying my car and sitting on the boat. This surprisingly took me all the way to the end. Hell yes, that actually worked! That was such a gamble, I had no idea. Yes! Awesome. What? I was back to the drawing board with nothing. See, my main problem here was that I needed to hold the car steady while Franklin hopped onto the boat and saved Jimmy. But this was the closest I got to steady. So yeah, driving here is also necessary. I know it sucks, but hey, at least no shooting. Usually Franklin gets jumped by a guy on the boat and we have to shoot them. But I found a workaround. I would hop out of my car, tether the car to the boat so that it wouldn't fail me, and then I would beat up the guy on Franklin. After a little driving, our car breaks down before we can get the boat. Great, the worst case scenario. Well, we did catch Jimmy, so yeah, the worst case scenario. So anyways, after getting the car fixed, we dropped off Jimmy. Literally. Well, at least we're here, Jimmy. You're safe now. Wait, this isn't your house. It's 1 block over, isn't it? Welp, one more go, couldn't hurt. Now, back as Franklin, we were probably on to the worst mission in the game. Challenge or not, the towing. And not just any towing, towing with Tanya. I would like to personally congratulate Rockstar for somehow making a character even more annoying than Tracy. I didn't think it was possible. You know, when I buy a video game, I want to escape my daily struggles of life and become a tow trucker. I'm so glad I got off my 9 to 5 to get to another 9 to 5. Not that I've ever been employed. You get on one watch list. Have you ever been playing this mission with our good old friend Tanya and wanted to do that? So I brought the old thing to the hookup site alongside the tow truck, and yet another problem. I need to back my car up into another car and then hook it up. Yeah, this is gonna suck. Crap, lady, are you okay? No, I can't deal with another manslaughter charge. My plan here was trying to fling the car we needed behind my truck so that I could hook it up, but this is all way easier said than done. And that's saying something, cause I suck at speaking. This is my 5th attempt at this line. I tried pulling it along and nothing. The constant traffic didn't really help either. After lots of attempts and a couple of corpses, I was luckily able to get it pretty close. Like, look. But still, the car just wouldn't hook on. I got ready for the 3rd car drive mission in a row when suddenly I tried again and got it near perfectly, but it still didn't snap on. Luckily, I had a plan. I know I'm not allowed to move the tow truck, but I am allowed to move the hook attached to it. So I slightly raised it, then lowered it, and ta-da! The car we needed is now attached. Look, I know that this hook rule exception thing is full of more crap than a constipated man, but... Okay, yeah, I don't have an excuse here. I'm just full of crap. Oh, you're checking on that lady. Yeah, a car just flew at her. It was so weird. Now, if you could just please both hold still. Now to return the tow truck. And of course, there's one slight hitch. I can't pick up both cars at the same time. I pick up the tow truck and it detaches. So instead, I need to slowly pull the car and tow truck all the way to the pound. Was this hard? Admittedly, no. But was this annoying? I want to scrape both of my eyes out with spoons. In short, very. We did get there eventually though, so I won't complain too much. Our friend Lamar then called us for another job. Just some, you know, light, easy breezy kidnapping.
Come on, homie, we ain't got all day. Let's go.
You know what? No, I'm always waiting for you. You hurry up for once. Okay, I found a non-lethal way to hurry Lamar up. Just tether him to me and... This is awkward. Ignore that body. You're fine. Okay. Anyways, after a quick restart, we finally got there, and just like all the other missions, we had another roadblock. We have to chase this guy down with our van. Needless to say, that's not happening. Luckily, right as I spawn, I'm given enough time to tether the bike we're chasing to our van, so I just ditched Lamar and tried following. Oh, hello. I didn't mean to, nice weather, huh? Perfect for some kidnapping. Did Lamar just spawn in there? Nice. Okay, this is actually working out extremely well. Yeah, for some reason, Lamar teleported into the van, and this kind gentleman was giving us all a ride. Don't worry about Lamar, though. He'll be fine. Wait, Chop. Lamar's dog is in that van. Stop. Yeah, our van crashed. Big surprise. And now it's time for chase on foot, which, yeah, I got him. I should become a speedrunner. Oh no, the brain damage has got to Chop. So we kidnapped this guy, brought him back, and then released him. Now, I don't condone kidnapping, but if you're gonna do something, do it all the way. Then, if things weren't bad enough, 2 random guys just started a fight with me.
Hey, you know who I am, motherfucker?
No, I have no clue. Well, okay, maybe now you could be Electro. With that out of the way, we went to visit Michael, and let's just say a tennis instructor was helping Michael's wife with her ball game. So now we need to chase the guy down and show him our serve. Serve him his obituary. For a long time, I went out of my way trying to avoid this mission because it involves chasing this tennis instructor through super windy roads. So we got ready, hopped into the car, and suddenly my third eye opened. The answer is so simple. We just sit there And wait, no, this isn't me having some fatal brain fart. For some reason, there's no mission fail here. You can just sit there and get directions to the instructor's house. But this is where my smile quickly faded like it never existed, because I remembered what came next. Yep, as revenge, we need to tear this guy's house down with driving. Crap. My first attempts involved a lot of tethering, and let's just say the results were interesting. Franklin, buddy, are you still breathing? But then I stumbled across the fact that lifting and carrying my car counted as driving for some reason. So I just picked up my car, did a little run, dropped it, and then boom, explosions.
Mr. DeSanta, what the hell? That's not my house!
Yeah, sure. Next you're gonna tell me this isn't your dead body either, huh? Yeah, apparently this actually wasn't the tennis coach's house, but instead just a hideout. A hideout of a massive kingpin, and he's just a weensy bit upset with us.
I know who you are. I know where you live.
Bull crap, you don't know where I live. Right. This is my house. So yeah, we now owe Mr. Madrazo here around 2.5 million. Michael, needless to say, doesn't have that much at all. But then he remembered that he had a plan for this situation. I mean, Jimmy doesn't need both his kidneys. No, he's gonna go back into crime. Luckily, we still have a contact who kinda acts as the criminal mastermind. Lester. I gotta say, this just may be a personal thing, but you don't look like a Lester to me. What, is it a nickname? Is it short for Molester? Anyways, Lester will help us get back into the game, but first he wants a small favor. Lester has a personal grudge on some billionaire called Jay Norris. Just imagine if Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg had some weird gay lizard baby. Yeah, that's Jay. Our job is to sneak into his office, and honestly, this plays pretty normally. I just have to not stand out, which, yeah, I've kinda already failed. I look like an eyesore got its own eyesore. Wait, hashtag the musical? Okay, I know Los Santos is a parody, but come on, let's just be a teensy bit realistic here. Michael's cover was blown? What? Why? Was it the time I reverse engineered Siamese twins? Or, I know, the lady I got a drink for? So we have to sneak in pretending to be an employee. I think their hiring criteria is to have an odd number of chromosomes, so I fit right in. My job wasn't just to sneak into the offices though, but to give their new prototype phone a personal touch.
It's your fault, you illiterate effing thieves!
Yes! Thank you for not cursing. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to keep this video as wholesome as possible. Oh, look, some dead bodies. Now at home, we turn on the TV to find Jay Norris displaying his new prototype phone, and I wanted to apologize for tampering with it, so I gave him a quick call.
Hold on a second. I think someone's trying to talk with me. Hello?
Hello? Hello? Anyone there? Jay? Jay, are you ghosting me? Jay, get it? Ghost? Right, you're dead. For some reason, watching someone's gray matter turn into red matter put me in the mood for tennis, which, I am not the best at.
Amanda!
Okay, that's not fair. You know what? Screw you. I'll show you my ultimate weapon, my backhand. What happened? Okay, I think I figured it out. You can see Michael just standing in the distance. Now that we've done that job for Lester, he sets us up with a heist robbing a jewelry store. But first, time to scout. And, you know, easy peasy. All I've got to do is be inconspicuous, which I'm actually pretty good at. Okay, so if I'm keeping track correctly, there's 2 cameras and a ventilation system on the right side. Perfect. Now we just gotta... Wait, why am I holding a bike?
Let's speed this up. We don't want to draw attention.
Yeah, draw attention. That's the last thing we'd want to do. So after checking the place out, we had 2 options on how to go in. Dumb and loud, or I'm not even gonna say the other option because duh, dumb and loud. Hello? Does that remind you of anyone? Does it? Does it? Does it? Why won't anybody answer me? Oh, right, these videos aren't live, they're pre-recorded. Yeah, I forgot about that. Being serious, this is a serious challenge, and everything is important. So while planning, I chose the cheapest team possible in order to get the most money, because, That's how that works, right? Coming home, we had a little heart-to-heart with our son, which, went well. Anyways, we actually decided to go to the beach together. Jimmy, if you ask one more time if we're there yet, I will turn this car around and then just let go. All right, we're here now. Get out. We have a little bike race with our son, and I could let him win as an attempt to create fond memories, or, yeah, I made the right call. After absolutely destroying Jimmy, we learned that our daughter, Tracy, is currently partying on that boat with some shady people. So of course, we have to save her. Oh boy, this section. There's a reason you don't see spiders in water. Everything about this just sucked. Moving around sucked. Fighting sucked. And Tracy sucked. That last one was more literal. My two problems were 1, actually moving around, and 2, taking these guys out. So first, moving. See, I can't just swing away because I need to take Tracy with me on one of these sea-doos. I tried lifting the sea-doo, tethering it, throwing it. The only thing that actually worked was slowly swimming with it. Now for the enemies. After a little testing, I was able to attach one to an oncoming boat, so we won't see him again, and the other I was able to attach to the sea floor, along with Tracy. Alright, crap, this is bad. Just, hold your breath. Or don't, you're kind of annoying. After finally saving Tracy, Amanda, Michael's wife, called.
Don't touch me!
Yeah, sure. Jimmy, could you please stop crying in pain for a second? Moving on to Franklin, we find him working out on the beach in a jacket and jeans. God, how many sins was that just rolled into at once? Lamar then hit us up with some deal he had with another friend, and considering his last plan ended with Chop getting half his brain cells chopped off, I'm not too keen. Needless to say, halfway through that sentence, I accepted and we were on our way to the gun store. I bought some stupid flashlight and then I ran across another problem. Our meetup point is halfway across town and Lamar won't stay in the car. Look at him just hop out while we're 50 feet in the air. So it was another situation where I thought we had to run all the way there. But luckily, my brain has been slowly expanding, like a tumor, but good. Here's my secret technique. Ta-da! See, I attached Lamar and his friend to the car like piñatas and then picked up the car. Now I can take them wherever I want. Sometimes. Sometimes they just die. So we got to the meetup point and found out that it was with the guy we kidnapped. Oh my god, what? You kidnap someone and then expect to become friends 5 seconds later? Okay, that did work with Michael and Franklin, but I think both of them have heavy brain damage, so they don't count. The meetup actually turned out to be a setup. Shocker. And now it's time to murder everyone, including Lamar. Yeah, my spider bots have a hard time telling the difference between friend and foe. So we take out everyone, but unfortunately, the cops kinda caught wind of our whole little massacre. I heard they're not the biggest fans of senseless killings, so we had to escape. It was all the exact same problem as before. I tried to keep Lamar in a car, but he jumped out so early. I've never seen such suicidal AI. So after 5 seconds, we respawned in, and somehow the cops just forgot I existed. God, if only it was actually that easy, huh? If this clip is being shown at any court cases, this is not an admission of guilt. Back on track, now with the cops gone, I had to take Lamar back home. Hey, are you guys good back there? Alright, I'll take that as yes. I brought everyone back safe and sound, or more so, just in sound, and now it's time for the big heist. We add the entire crew and it's showtime, baby. The loud and dumb option sees us going straight in and just hoping that no guards run out. And as you can guess, 5 seconds into it, one starts to flee. This could be the entire unraveling of our master plan. This one singular person. Okay, I don't think we have to worry about them. Then it was on to grabbing as many diamonds as our grubby little hands could carry, which, because of my poor choice in crew, was not a lot, but it was still enough. $4 million enough. We were sky high, but then we hit the first major roadblock, the getaway. I first tried running it, but we had to bring the bike. So I brought out the old web tether, and we were flying past cops like an eagle in the sky. Until everything again kinda fell apart. The gunman I attached to fell down and we were screwed. Or so I thought. Yeah, this heist had a lot of ups and downs. Our bike driver then got lost inside the sewers and had to slow down. This lucky chance gave me just enough time to run up and properly reattach myself. It may have just been luck, but it saved the entire operation. Then we started to fly Mach 5 through the sewers almost perfectly. We just got out and now it's Michael's turn. We pick up the truck and follow Michael with swings as we nearly dodge through cops. We kept on going until we eventually outran them all. We were in the clear. I gotta say, it went near perfectly. Okay, not close at all, but let's imagine that it went perfectly. Back with Franklin, we visited Michael to see how he's doing after the heist. Oh, hey, dude, I remember seeing you a couple hours ago when Well, it's nice to see you. Can you hear me? Oh, it's probably just the brain damage. Anyways, while celebrating, we were reintroduced to an old, dangerous friend who is slightly upset with us. Yeah, we learned that Trevor is still alive. And also that ghouls exist apparently because, my god, that monster... Wait, that's what crack does? Jesus, it looks like she made out with sandpaper. So Trevor here doesn't know that Michael is alive, but after seeing our jewelry robbery on TV, he realizes that his buddy is back. But before confronting Michael, we have a to-do list. And at the top of it is this biker's girlfriend. The boyfriend then got a little upset, but all he really needed was a hug.
Hug, friend, love. Don't take my ad revenue. Please don't read the subtitles.
And that, kids, is how I started a gang war with the biker clan. So now, with the war starting, there was one tiny problem, because we have to drive to the biker's base. And that leads to one bigger problem. Wade. This creature that we have to bring around defies all logic. He sits in the back without a seatbelt, so when I pick up the car... Yeah, exactly. I cannot describe the amount of pain that Wade has bestowed upon me. Eventually I found that I just needed to tether Wade to the car and then carry the car. So I was able to get through all that crap and we were finally right outside the enemy's base. But this is where everything fell apart again. Because no matter what you do, it's a mission fail. You have to actually drive the car into the base. The problem was that as soon as the bikers saw Trevor, they got spooked. I mean, can you blame them? With just one glance at this psychopathic meth head, I'd be pissing myself too. Now, if only there was a way for the bikers to not notice me as Trevor. If only I had some sort of, I don't know, secret identity. You know how Peter can turn into Spider-Man? He has two identities? Well, I have that power as well. Except instead of a Spider-Man suit, I turn into a middle-aged African-American man. I'm not joking. I tried turning on my Spidey suit, and for some reason, I turned into this guy. I'll name him Stanley. Stanley is basically my secret weapon, because when turning Stanley on, I shouldn't have phrased it like that. When I turn into Stanley, the game basically gives me a secret identity. I can now do some things which I couldn't do before. I'm allowing this because it's in the mod folder, so therefore part of Spidey's powers, but also I've kinda grown attached to Stanley. That's right, Stanley came in clutch. See, by becoming Stanley, the bikers were no longer scared. Now I could waltz in, bring the car in, turn into Trevor, and ta-da, the cutscene starts. Who needs a Bentley when you could just make hood ornaments out of your friends? Wade, you comfortable? It has built-in heating, don't worry. Yeah, it's called the grill. Now, of course, this torture session doesn't end here, because now we have to chase the bikers to their main hideout. Simple, right? We've done this before. Quickly attach a tether, laugh at how stupid it looks, then consequently how stupid I am, and bada bing, bada boom, we're done. Well, not exactly, because there's one extra terrifying game-breaking variable this time. Wade. The man dies to everything. Oh, boo-hoo, a car fell on your face? Stop complaining. If anything, I think I did you a favor with the whole face situation. So yeah, simply tethering didn't work. I spent another hour just fiddling around with the most minute details, but I eventually found that again, I need to tether Wade to my car, pick up my car, and then just kind of stay low to the ground. This worked. Kinda. Most of the time. Okay, it's like 50%. Now that we finally reached the main biker base, it's time for my 10 o'clock massacre. I tried killing my enemies with kindness, and surprisingly, it wasn't as effective as throwing a motorbike at their head was. However, it was effective at crashing my game. After all of my hard work murdering, I was finally rewarded by Wade leaving. But just as I started to go, I started to miss the little guy. So I made sure to bring him along, because why not? It won't hurt me. It will definitely hurt him though. So now we were off to negotiate with the big biker boss. And yep, you guessed it, yet another roadblock. If you didn't know, this entire set piece is about ramming his motorhome. Yeah, I want to ram my head into my monitor. The first main problem was that I couldn't get out of my car, no matter what I did. But luckily, changing into my secret identity of Stanley let me escape. Don't ask how, I don't know why. But that one solution just brought a plethora of more problems. First, the camera wouldn't move, meaning I couldn't tether the cars. So I went to test every single button on my computer. Oh, okay. Don't do that one again. Eventually, I found out that my air blasts actually allowed me to slightly push my car. We're not home free yet though, because we control like a fish out of water that also happens to be covered in butter. Thankfully, I was able to push the car up to the motorhome, and thank the lords, the car started to rev up by itself. Must be part of the scripting or something. Or honestly, I'm starting to think that this is just one really long lucid dream. So I hopped back into my car and huzzah, a cutscene. But just as I started to make progress, again, more completely different problems. I know I may sound like I'm whining, and that's because I am. This sucked. I had to push the trailer down the hill and into the river. But no matter what, air blasts, tethers, anything, it just wouldn't budge. It seemed to be programmed to only move by car push. The only thing I could do was lift it up, but then every single time I put it down, yeah, the game didn't like that. I spent 2 hours on this section because every time I crashed, I went all the way back to Michael. And trust me, the game crashed like an alcoholic who just got their driver's license back. At this point, having not made any progress, I was ready to give up. But then I was on my last attempt and just randomly said, if the game crashes when I put the trailer down, then I just won't put it down. And surprisingly, it worked. With that mission finally done, we set up a meeting with some potential business partners. They want to buy some guns and nose candy from us, so I gave them the first class experience. You can really feel the wind up here, huh? Well, I guess you guys can't really feel anything besides pain. We got to our cookhouse, showed our clients our refrigerating systems, and just then the bikers came around for a fight. After getting my bearings, I found that the police had come to help. Well, until I accidentally punched one of them in the face, but still, nice gesture. Random explosions went off, people died. A lot of people died. I haven't seen that many corpses in a while. But besides that, yeah, it was a lot of fun. After finally taking everyone out, we met back up with our potential partners, and they were, well, I have trouble reading people, but I think they enjoyed being locked inside a freezer for an hour. Getting back home, we found out that the bikers were here first, and completely messed everything up. Actually, is this any different from it was before? Anyways, it's time to get payback for making my mess of a trailer, well, even more of a mess. The bikers have one more base, and this is our first sniping section. Oh boy, as you can assume, this sucked hard. Almost immediately, a huge problem reared its ugly head. My entire arsenal is completely useless from afar, and what made this even worse is that I can't leave this tiny tower without failing, even if I change into Stanley. Honestly, I'm still a little confused on why Stanley even exists, but he's just one of life's mysteries. So anyways, after going through each gadget, I found that they were all useless. That is, except for my tether, which has no limit. The only problem is that a tether isn't a weapon, it's a tool. So I had to get a little creative, like making people fall from heights, running them over with their own car, or slowly dragging their lifeless corpses across the barren desert. I know, fun stuff. I was able to pick each guy off one by one, but the party kinda stopped when a helicopter came into the mix. For some reason, it just wouldn't get tethered. I can't even start to explain everything I tested here, but finally, I found out that you just need to shoot once in order to start a cutscene. Now that the bikers knew that we were here, it's just a matter of watering the nearby plant life with biker blood. I know this may seem a little weird, but I can recognize that grunt from anywhere, and that's the actual grunt that Peter makes in the PS4 game. That is so cool, and so sad that I noticed it. Yeah, attacking here isn't really a problem. However, what was this. We hop into a plane and escape. You can see how this went off the rails. Leaving the plane instantly fails you, so I knew that tethering was my only way to go. And after many attempts, I was eventually able to actually get a tether working, and we even got quite far, but I was just delaying the inevitable because eventually, we would need to land, and well, this is how that went. So yeah, add 1 to the counter. Alright, apparently G is my landing gear. Okay, something tells me G actually wasn't my landing gear. We finally escaped, and getting back to our business associates, they told us that they're backing out.
I'm afraid we want to go down a different path.
Heh, you sound like my girlfriend. She hasn't talked to me in a while, which is funny. But anyways, our business associates instead went with the Hillbilly O'Neill brothers. Like the Mario brothers, but inbred. Yeah, we had to have a small, teeny weeny talk about basic business stuff. Air blasts, decapitations, you know, the sorts. Okay, so to get back at these hillbillies, we need to blow up their house, I think. How do we do that? No. Trevor, I'm pretty sure we're supposed to wait until we get out. Oh my god, where's the exit? How is this house still explode? How much meth were you guys cooking? After finally finding my way out, I met up with Wade and made a plan to visit Michael. But first, we need to make a little stop with our biker friends, and considering all the pain they've put me through, I'm willing to return the favor. You know, Wade, you look quite flexible. You should try yoga after this. That is, if you aren't paralyzed from the neck down. So yeah, we get to the biker base, and I started to get worried because the game wanted me to blow up these houses with C4. Yeah, but luckily web bombs also did the trick. It just turns out that bombs in general can be pretty deadly. We then took a quick little trip to the big city to meet Michael, and here's a little fun fact. If you ever see me double jump in the air, it's actually because I jump once normally and then take another step off of Wade's face. Don't worry, he doesn't mind. Mostly because he doesn't have a mind anymore. Before everything else, we needed a base, and luckily, we had just the place. We met up with Wade's cousin, Floyd, who looks just like Wade if he would actually bathe himself. We made ourselves at home, and now it's time for the big family reunion. Except, you know, one of us is absolutely insane and about to murder everyone. So yeah, a normal family reunion. So Trevor learns that Michael basically backstabbed him, and Trevor's gonna repay the favor. Literally this time. Fortunately, just as things started to heat up, the tension is broken when we learn that Tracy, yes, that Tracy, is auditioning for Fame or Shame, Los Santos' stupider version of America's Got Talent. This news distracts Trevor for just long enough to think of something other than murder. So we're off to get Tracy off of that show. Alright, Michael, we're here. You're welcome. God, some people don't have any manners. The whole talent show was... well, I don't really think I could show it on YouTube, but I assure you it was all very family friendly. Meaning Laszlo, the host, was getting a little too friendly with our family, so now it's time to chase him down. I know what you're thinking. Oh, you do one chase and you can do them all, they're all the same. But no, because this game hates me. First off, every single chase has slightly different rules just to mess with me. I could go into all the little details and bore you to death, or I could give you a quick play-by-play, so here's what I did. Lasso up Michael, cause he's slow as hell, navigate through the windy corridors, run to his side of the car, jump to detach, turn off one of the mods to actually enter the car, attach a tether, and hopefully, just hopefully, hop into the car before it goes too fast. And luckily, that's exactly what I was able to do. Are you up to speed now? Good, because there will be a test at the end of the video, so you should be taking notes.
He went left!
Oh, thank Thank you, Trevor, for the directions. I'll make sure to turn. We caught up with Laszlo and the mission was pretty much over, so I was able to have my fun. And people say white people can't dance. You see those moves? Those are money-making moves. Damn. Anyways, with that done, our cop buddy called us for a meeting. He was the one who killed us and faked our deaths so that he could take all the glory for taking us down. So, yeah, now we have to meet up with him. Oh, crap, this has got to stop happening. Okay, relax. We just gotta hide the body. Oh, he's vanished. Okay, that's that mission done, I guess. We talked to Dave here, and he tells us that because he's helped us so much, now we've gotta help him.
I have always kind of liked you.
Please, don't say that while you force me into unconsciousness. You're really starting to worry me out. Our buddy Dave needs us to infiltrate the morgue for a specific corpse. You know him, he has a thing for lifeless bodies. Yeah, we had to explore a morgue and it was looking a little empty. So I decided to help repopulate it. Hey to you too. Is that as fun as it looks? Okay, I'll take your gurgling as a maybe. Man, I know I'm always using just the air blasts, but a lot of the other gadgets are cool too. Okay, let's just stick to air blasts. Things were going pretty well, as usual, a fun trip to the morgue, but unfortunately, that all kind of stops the second we reach this window. For some reason, on my first playthrough, it didn't break because the game wants you to shoot it. But after glitching through and seeing the void, I restarted, and on my second attempt, it broke this time for some reason, so we're in the clear. In the morgue, the body that we were looking for wasn't there, so Davey, unsatisfied, called us back again. Don't worry, I made sure to bring pepper spray this time, but luckily, all he needed from us this time is to rescue someone. So, if anything, we're like the good guys in the I just murdered a building full of people kind of way.
Hey, Michael.
Hello? Okay, I should probably break the silence. Cool, I don't really understand human interaction all that much, but... well, I wasn't expecting this. Yeah, there was another glitch. Unless... is this how people talk? Have I been doing it wrong this entire time? That's why girls don't like me. I should just unflinchingly stare at them instead. That makes so much more sense. After the longest staring contest ever, I swear Dave doesn't blink, he might be a lizard, our new agent friend showed off his breakdancing skills, and in between mutterings of indescribable pain, he tells us that we have another job with the FIB. So we go to the meetup point with Trevor, and of course, I found a way to crash the game in about 5 seconds. The guy we need to rescue is in a skyscraper, so we need to use helicopters. And considering my last stunt with planes, you can guess how this went. Alright, final check before liftoff. Air pressure is normal, weather is partially cloudy, and all passengers accounted for. Alright, I think we are clear for liftoff. Yeah, I was allowed to exit the helicopter and carry it to my destination. My allocated 5 seconds of fun were over, however, because another problem. You know how helicopters stay floating midair? Yeah, I can't really do that. The game requires me to hover inside the helicopter right next to this building 50 feet up. I tried tethering to the side of the building and even glitching myself into the skyscraper, but none of it worked. Because I swear to God that this helicopter is made out of paper mache. You're telling me you can't handle being torn through dimensions? Luckily, I found that if I very, and I mean very, carefully put down the helicopter right next on top of the building and then hopped in, we would just be close enough so that the cutscene would start. We did some rappelling, so just wall running but extremely lame, and we had to save a hostage from intense, brutal torture so that, you know, we could torture him instead. Clearing out the room was a little bit finicky, but thankfully, web bombs, as usual, were the answer. So we get the guy, harness him up, and now it's on to a helicopter chase. And oh boy, this was just swell. Can't you tell by the tone of my voice? It's just that taking out these helicopters is super finicky. It all starts with Franklin, and I'm able to take a few out here. You've made me unleash 30% of my power. So while Franklin is turning into a smoothie fighting for his life, Trevor is piloting and dodging in between missiles. Now, what is Michael doing? Oh, okay. That doesn't really answer my question. Eventually, I think I was able to tether one of the last helicopters to the floor, and the other one just died somehow. What? Not everything I do has some sort of magical strategy. A lot of this is just luck. AI Trevor then brought us back to base, and that was that mission done. Honestly, so much harder than I thought. I wonder what will happen if I throw a web grenade at this conveniently placed oil tank. Oh! Okay. Yeah, I deserve that. I then got my cut from the jewelry heist, and since I'm the genius moneymaker that I am, I decided to look into stocks. It's like gambling, except everybody loses, including the house. See, the trick here is to buy low and sell high. So I just gotta look for a company that's real low. Oh, 17% down. Perfect. What happened? Vangelico. Wait, why have I heard that name before? Oh, that's the store we robbed. So naturally, I decided to pump the $800,000 I got from the heist back into the company I stole from. I don't know if this is irony or anything, but it's definitely funny as hell. Oh, look at this. I just love parties. They really help bring people together. This is what you get for not inviting me. Now, as Michael, we have to use that guy we saved earlier in order to find a terrorist. And it's time for torture.
I'm scared of drowning.
No, really? Never heard that one before. Me and all my friends just love drowning. That was a joke. I don't have friends. Being serious, I won't be showing any of this stuff because, well, do I really have to explain it? I kinda want this video to make at least a couple of pennies for me. I know, you guys like seeing people in pain because you're weird and masochistic, but I have mouths to feed. Oh no, I don't have a family or anything. It's this weird genetic mutation I have. Don't ask anymore. This wasn't just torture for the fun of it. Though we did have fun, we were getting info on some target of ours to murderize. And apparently, he's at this party. We find our target, and as you can expect, another problem. Michael gets into position to take the shot with a sniper rifle. Again, this was another case of luck. All of my gadgets were useless like before, and my tether was the only thing that worked. That being said, I could barely tether my target, and when I was able to, they would just teleport randomly. My only hope of doing anything was web bombs, which I thankfully was able to throw, but nowhere close enough.
You missed. He's on the move.
Yeah, everyone got spooked by the bomb I threw, surprise, and now this was the end. Or was it? For some reason, after 5 seconds, he just died. I don't know how. I think he just killed himself out of boredom waiting for me. If you weren't clued in yet by how the game often crashes harder than the US economy, the game is a little broken right now. With our target taken care of, Trevor let our little victim go to live a normal life. Or as normal as can be while only being able to pee blood. Hey, why are the cops after me? I have done nothing so far. Right, I did just torture that guy. Meeting up with Franklin, Lamar has a plan to buy some nose candy, and of course, Lamar is involved, so it all goes wrong. Okay, he didn't really do anything. I just like blaming him. Why did we bring Chop to a gangbang? I understand bringing a knife to a gunfight, but a dog? It's cool to know that I have webs that send people to heaven, and also ones that send them to hell. The cops then got involved in our little shootout, and Lamar had a good idea for once. Sea-doos. Now prepare yourself, because remember the last race with Lamar? Yeah, get ready for an epic chase with water vehicles and tethers. Man, this is gonna be so awesome. Okay, well, I'm not complaining, but I'm just the weensiest bit disappointed. But anyways, we somehow got to the beach after a solid 8 hours just slowly driving around and finally lost the cops. Now, after that exhilarating high, we're off to chase something even higher. We actually get to do yoga. Come on, yoga isn't that bad. You stretch out, clear the mind, focus on the soft sounds of nature and explosions and gunshots. Yeah, for some reason, during this entire relaxing experience, there was a war being held a block over. We could hear the entire thing. Anyways, you know the story by now. Our wife runs off with the yoga instructor. I don't know what she sees in him, besides being more attractive, fit, cultured, young, not being an insane murderer. Changing the topic, we were stuck to wallow in self-pity at home.
James!
Wait, we have Jimmy? This is the biggest plot twist of the year. Our wife didn't take the kids. Meeting up with Jimmy, we did some good old father-son bonding, like visiting the local drug dealer, then getting forcefully drugged by our own son. Ah, man, it's up there with throwing the ball around. So if you didn't know, Jimmy is supposed to drug us on our way back home, but because we swung there instead, it all gets kinda funky.
Okay, your turn.
Maybe when we get home.
Jesus, did you get drugged as well? We already are home. Unfortunately, while you can get home, actually driving is necessary because you aren't supposed to get home. You're instead supposed to black out while driving, and since I can't drive, the game gets into this weird soft lock position. So, unfortunately, add 1 to the counter. Or, so that's what I thought, because going back, I did a little more testing and found that if I tethered my car to a bus, then hopped back in the car, the game will register this as driving, even though I'm not touching the keyboard. And now I can black out starting the cutscene. I'm a living god! And that isn't just the LSD talking. So yeah, drug time, and this was surprisingly tame considering what's going on in this head. There were kidnappings, monkeys, and alien saucers. Your usual bad trip.
You ruined my life.
Okay, Michael, I know that we're kind of going through a bad mental breakdown right now, but damn, does this music hit hard.
I always thought I was the good guy.
Yeah, Michael, don't worry, we are the good guys. Oh, hey, that's the, I remember that building. That's the building where we killed a bunch of innocent cops, yeah. After waking up near nude, we then got a note from our wife saying she took the kids and will be seeing a lawyer. Great. You can now do yoga. Jesus Christ, Kane, can we please slow down just a little bit? We're going from wife leaving me to mini games in about 5 seconds. Let's just go to Trevor. It can't be any worse than this.
Mine ain't nothing special.
All right, Michael, we were on the divorce storyline, right? This mission with Trevor is all about exploring the docks looking for something to steal, which means blending in. This mission also happens to be one of the most interesting in the entire game. And by interesting, I mean soul-suckingly boring. We had to move boxes from one area to another with this massive truck thing. And because I can't drive, I was in a lot of pain. This section was like a Minecraft YouTuber at an all-boys middle school. Really hard. I had to carefully put the car into position, fling the cargo into its position, and then drag the car over to its drop-off. This was like a tow truck mission, except I want to die. So, exactly like a tow truck mission. Then, just as things couldn't get any worse, there was this truck. God damn this truck. First, I can't pick it up because of the attached cargo. It all detaches, which means I had to slowly tug it. Fun. This basically took forever, so imagine how it felt when halfway through, I did this to a guard. Yep, that hurt like hell. Well, okay, it probably hurt him because he's dead, but it hurt me a lot more emotionally. Anyways, I finally got to my destination, but the pain train hasn't reached its destination yet because my torture isn't done. As I started to pull the truck up, these guards started to randomly shoot me. I don't know why. Well, yes, this is a super secure military base, but besides that, I can't figure it out. I tried everything, but the second I stepped out of my truck, my cover was near instantly blown, as well as my brains from out the back of my head. But you may be thinking, oh, it's another roadblock. Why are you complaining so much? Well, every single time I failed, because I was spotted, I had to go all the way back and fling this stupid truck again. So yeah, after 2 hours spent testing every single gadget, I had come short with absolutely nothing. But then I thought of something. These guards were getting alarmed as soon as they saw Trevor, just like the biker gang. Yep, Stanley came in clutch again. So going back in, I realized that becoming Stanley let us walk just close enough to the guards to actually web them up. And when they're webbed up, they can't blow our cover because they might be dead. So everything was good. I picked off each guy one by one, but there's this one guy who's behind glass who I couldn't get to without blowing my cover. Luckily, I have this pretty secret, silent weapon that should work from afar. Anyone hear a loud bang with just a couple of screams of pain? No? Okay, good. Surprisingly, this completely stupid idea somehow worked. I was able to walk my car up and everyone respawned. All was good. Well, except for Floyd. Yeah, he kind of gets screwed no matter what you do. With that mission done, we finally got to do some assassination. Finally, my wait for murder has been murder. Hello, don't shoot the messenger, but I've been told that you need to die. Now let the messenger shoot you.
Very good. I'll be in touch.
No, Lester, please don't say that. You will not be touching anything. So after working as a professional hitman, taking out the world's elite, it's time to go back to tow trucking. You know what infuriates me the most? That this is the only side mission that's actually required to continue the story. Why? So, you know by now, this is all very possible, just extremely tedious. I have to use my extremely slow dragging method. I spent 40 minutes tugging on a stupid virtual truck. Then, for some reason, there weren't any new missions on the map for me to do, so I had some time to kill. There are a lot of things to do in GTA, like learn to fly, go shopping. Yeah! Who needs self-improvement? Hey, Franklin, I may not be the biggest druggie in the world, but I know that's probably not right. We then finally got a text about our next big mission, and you won't believe it, but it's another tow truck mission. Yay, my favorite. Well, at least for this one, Tanya isn't here. I could tell you all about this mission, or I could just save everyone's time and talk about a submarine heist instead. Now, as Trevor, I snuck into a government boat, and I was actually able to avoid all attention, until Trevor got himself stuck in a wall, because of course, it's Trevor. But eventually we got it, and you may think that having to drive a submarine would be a problem, and so did I, but luckily you can just lift it like a car. And now it's time for, well, it's basically just tow trucking again. What the hell? All of this mission planning has led to this, a heist for something on a government ship. Oh, no, that's not me being stupid. We just actually don't know what we're stealing. How could this go wrong? I get put into sniping as Franklin, and we have to guard Michael as he puts stickies all over this boat. Now, this is a sniping section, so you can guess how this went. I'm in pain. So now with testing, I knew that tethers would be my only option here, but I also found out that tethers do have a limit, and I'm in fact a little bit too far. Another panic attack was starting to settle in for the 5th time that day, but luckily I found that I could just move a little bit closer to the boat without mission failing. This exact spot put me in prime tethering range, but the tether itself won't kill the enemy. So I have to drown them, or... yeah, that works too. Man, I'm picking these guys off one by one. I'm gonna have a little body pile when I'm done. Michael, hold on, there's one more. Okay, I may have made a mistake. While this process is very lethal, it's not 100%, which can lead to things getting a little awkward. Hey guys, just sit there. There will be more friends coming. A majority of them will be dead though. You know, even though this mission is a lot of work and I have to restart over and over and over, there's one good upside that I can think of. I don't have to listen to Tanya, am I right? Michael planted all of the explosions, I took down another helicopter, and bada bing, bada boom, we are in the clear. Well, not just yet. We have to do some swimming, find whatever it is we stole, and then submarine time. Unfortunately, we can't get out, and even when I brutally force it open, there's no way to get back in the submarine. So, yeah, add 1 to the counter. Anyways, the thing we actually stole was a nuke, I think. But yeah, a little more than we bargained for. Like, the US government's gonna come down on us like we just found oil in our backyard. This was a total mess. All of our lives nearly ruined. But on the other hand, we did get to see Lester's butt, so in total, not a horrible experience. With that heist done, we have another big heist. Great! We are stealing from the government again, but this time we're the good guys. But that's also what I was told last time, so in all honesty, we may just be stealing orphans. First, we needed a getaway car. Something fast, sturdy, but could also blend into the traffic around us. Perfect. And now it's time for the actual heist. I'll give you a quick little play-by-play. Trevor is looking out for an armored car. He gives Michael a 5-minute heads up when it's near. Michael then takes a garbage truck and actually tries to put it in position for about an hour, and somehow everything is still on track. With the armored car stopped because of the garbage truck, Franklin comes in and rams the car with his tow truck. Damn it again with the tow trucks. Of course, driving is required here. Or that's what I thought. Remember the bike that keeps on randomly popping up? Well, I found that if I attach it to the tow truck with a tether and then flung the bike, it would cause a crash. The only problem is that I can't get back into the car, but luckily this mod has slow-mo. So now we change the crouch keybind to 1 and the punch button to back. As you can probably tell, I was finding solutions which only led to bigger and harder problems. I really tried, but nothing worked. So add 1 to the counter. And not even a full second later, I'm forced into using sticky bombs. And again, nothing worked. So add 1 to the counter. What did I do to deserve this? Besides all that murder, we give the cash we almost died over to this random douche, and while Michael does want to leave the game of crime, he can't because, to be honest, he's kinda broke. Yeah, that investment in Vangelico didn't turn out to be the smartest. We've already lost $140,000, but don't worry, we're holding on because if I've learned anything, it's that you actually don't lose any money until you sell. Or until all of your utilities get shut off, your house gets repossessed, and the IRS forces you to sell as a way to repay your debts. But at that point, it's really just tomato. We then got to meet up with some famous movie producer called Solomon, and Michael befriends him in the only way he knows how. Murder. Oh, no, he doesn't murder him. He murders people for him. This actor in Solomon's movie is going on strike, and we need to scare him straight. The actor in question is currently being guarded by his agent, so I had to take care of him first.
I'll go easy, old man.
Interesting. Well, I'm not. After scaring the agent with his own corpse, we now have to scare the actor by flying erratically, which is a problem because do I have to explain it? I can't fly. Not wanting to give up entirely, I had a few ideas. First off was sitting at the top of the highest tower. Okay, I don't really know what I was thinking. Second was tumbling down a mountain, as, you know, that's kind of erratic, but it turns out that I just made the world's lamest theme park ride. I tried trains, blimps, but nothing worked. So again, after a whole hour of trying, I had to throw in the towel for another mission. Or did I? I've gotta stop doing that. It's just how I discover things. So while looking back, I remembered that the game said to try flying under bridges as that's kinda scary. So what if I just park underneath one? And surprisingly, it worked. Just being under a bridge freaked the hell out of this actor.
Enough! Enough! All right, I'll do the shitty movie.
Yes!
Shitty money. I'll do it.
Yes! How did that work?
Stop!
Yes!
Okay.
Now, you can kind of tell by the slight tone in my voice that I was kind of relieved to be done with this crap. Then we were off to steal some sports cars because, why not? What's the worst that can happen? Oh my god, this is probably the worst thing that could have happened. So it all starts off with a race, and you can kind of tell by now how everything fell apart, including my car and my body that was inside the car. Get ready because this was 3 hours of testing. So the race starts off quickly. Too quickly for me to tether my car and get back in it. So I tethered it up and just kind of jumped along and everything was great. The race continued, my car didn't blow up, and everything was normal. Until we stopped mid-race. In fact, the guys we were racing just turned around and parked. Apparently, this way of tagging along ruined the cutscene where we're supposed to switch to Michael. All you really need to know is that I need to be inside my car. Carrying it or tethering it and swinging alongside just won't work. So after more testing, I found that tethering my car up before the race was triggered was perfect because I was actually in my car this time. It was awesome. for about 5 seconds if I wasn't immediately exploded. I would go for a couple of tries, but the cars just moved too fast for my frail little body, so I needed the car to be stronger. And I realized that all of the repair shops are open. Great! The only problem being that every single attempt, I needed to upgrade my car. It doesn't save with each attempt. Then, even with the armor upgrades, I would live for about 2 milliseconds longer, so a worthy investment. At this point, I had spent half a day looking through every little thing I could for any sort of answer. But then, I realized that everything I needed was right in front of me. Sure, tethering in a high-speed chase on a freeway was basically extreme gambling, but I realized that I could improve my odds. I had completely disregarded Franklin's special ability. Cause why would I need it? I don't need slow-mo, I'm not driving. But after testing, I found that Franklin's special ability doesn't only slow down time, but it has a secret hidden feature. When the ability is turned on, you take way less damage when driving. Like, look, I'm getting hit here 3 times in a row. I should be dead, but for some reason my car looks surprisingly well. Like, does this look like the car that has just committed several vehicular manslaughters? No, it just looks like it got into a small fender bender. This wasn't foolproof, but after a couple of tries and careful use of Franklin's ability, I somehow pulled through. Man, when I figured this out, I felt so unbelievably stupid and smart at the same time. But mostly just stupid. So continuing on the chase, we had to play as Michael, and at first I was having the same problems. Everything was going too fast for tethers. Something would always break, but luckily, just carrying my bike and following with swinging actually worked this time. After securing the cars, we had a fun little race with Trevor and Michael. It's a little unfair though, as I almost have the ability to fly. Yeah, I came in last place. Don't ask. We then needed to steal another car, and I was a little hesitant because Trevor was involved. Oh, no, not because I might have to fly, but because Trevor doing basically anything is a pretty bad idea. Luckily, Trevor is just in the passenger seat, and all we had to do was find a car. But unfortunately, this involved tailing a target. We eventually did find him, and he turned out to be a total Chad. Well, yes, that is his actual name, but he has the fast car, he's smooth, he's a, Chad.
You look like my grandma did in 1920.
Like I said, smooth in the brain. Anyways, we got the car, dropped it off, and finally, a mission that didn't question my sanity.
You have got to take stock, man.
Nah. I heard Michael got into stocks. That guy will forever be in debt. At this point, we were pretty much just doing any random crap, and now it involves some more hitmanning. Our target is this really evil CEO guy that's taking private info and spying on people. So my job is to spy and take private info off of this prostitute. We wait around and finally get the guy as well as some collateral damage. I'm running a sale. 2 for the price of 1. Hello? Franklin? Are you ghosting me? Wait, I just realized that I've already made that joke. Ugh, it doesn't matter. I don't think anybody has actually made it this far through the video yet. And in the rare case that someone actually is watching right now, for example, you, let's just keep it as our little secret. The next target was, again, some CEO guy who apparently likes to ride the bus. So, guess who's becoming a bus driver? Hey, folks, sorry, new driver here today, so unfortunately, we will be taking a little bit of a different route. Jokes aside, I feel like I did pretty good for my first day. How'd you get up on the roof? This mission was again easy peasy. Still on the train of doing random crap, we are now setting up another big job as Michael. Oh my god! Yes! Only $20,000 in losses! Oh, it's all coming together! Wait, there's an extra 0 on that. Oh my god, $200,000 in losses? Oh my god. Okay. That joke about Jimmy not needing both of his kidneys may not be a joke anymore. This next job has Mr. Madrazo, yes, that guy, wanting his cousin to, shut up permanently. The target in question is currently taking a private jet out of state, and unfortunately, we have to shoot his plane 3 times. I mean, it's just necessary. But Hey, at least it didn't give me false hopes so that I spent an entire day testing the most minuscule crap. Those tow truck missions still give me nightmares. Anyways, we had to shoot down the plane and Trevor had to follow it. Can you imagine that the seat was half off? I know, right? Must have been a scheduling error or something. Anyways, with the plane down, Trevor did his thing, murder, and afterwards he kidnapped Mr. Madrazo's wife. You know, Mr. Madrazo, the guy who nearly got a home run with Michael's skull. So needless to say, Michael and Trevor need to lay low for a while. Now, as Franklin, we are stealing another car. I was getting pretty excited because this one has all little gadgets and there's this little amazing chase with spikes, but yeah, who knew that breaking the game in half and then playing with its remains would get stale after a little while. This mission was easy. Getting back to Trevor and his kidnappee, we heard about another big score from Ron. Will it ever be enough? I nearly died about 5 times today, and I'm pretty sure I was clinically dead for about 10 minutes, but yeah, sure, just one more heist. This mission is all about robbing a military plane, and unfortunately, this entire mission is basically one massive airplane ride. Yeah, this sucked. So, as you can guess, the impromptu zero planning heist on a military plane didn't go the best. Yeah, there isn't too much to say, I just had to play the game normally. Ugh, that felt weird to say. Huh, I knew you could sit or stand to pee, but sideways. I gotta try that sometime.
Go fuck yourself.
No, don't you dare say that. That's Mr. Jam's job. Ah, Mr. Jam. So yeah, it's time for another heist, this time with the feds. Woo! Let's fight terrorism. The only problem is that they want us to buy all this super expensive stuff like helicopters. So to fund this heist, I could pawn off some of my Vangelico stock, but no. Never. Instead, let's risk our lives and rob a bank. Yep, you heard that right. We are going to fund a heist with another heist. We scope out a little bank, and of course, shooting gets involved. We need to test the bank's alarm system, and I literally threw so much crap at it, but no matter what, it will only go off with a gunshot. I spent so long testing that I even punched someone through a wall, and while impressive, it did nothing besides fail me. So you guessed it. One gunshot was needed here. We set up the heist, and our plan is apparently to go head on against the cops. Now, I get Trevor coming up with plans that could only be thought up by a kindergartner on acid, but you, Lester? I thought you were better. Anyways, we met up with Michael to crack open a cold one with the boys. And by cold one, I mean gasoline canister. Okay, Trevor, the gasoline sniffing may be having some slight side effects. So remember when we took out that entire den of hillbillies? Well, we didn't get rid of all of them. And now the 4 that are still alive want revenge. All right, Michael. Buckle up, because where we're going, we don't need roads. You will need health insurance though, because brain damage is a possibility. So we get teleported to Franklin, who's tailing the hillbillies in question, and yep, it's another car chase. Yay! So for my first attempts, I just tethered the cars and started the scientific process. Except, you know, with murder. I would jump along, testing all of my gadgets, seeing what would and wouldn't help me. Fun fact, you can kill everyone in this car you're tailing and it won't stop. Well, not really a fun fact, more like a horrifyingly morbid fact. Oh, but killing Chop will cause a mission fail, so at least Rockstar has some priorities. So I followed this ghost car, but unfortunately, it led me to my first failure. The O'Neill brothers escaped? To where? What, the underworld? My next idea was destroying the enemy car and seeing what would happen.
Cause these dudes is rolling hard.
Oh yeah, they're rolling so fast, it's insane, Michael, you gotta see it. I think it's Mach 1. No, I think they're going Mach 2. Joking aside, I for sure thought that this was it, my answer. So I took the car to this exact spot by the rock, because at the start of this rock, a cutscene will play. But unfortunately, no cutscene for me, which means I got soft locked. Apparently, this isn't how you're supposed to play the game. So I went over my options. Tethering would be ideal, but the startup is too quick. Once I put the tether on my car, it would all be moving too fast for me to get back in. See, you can only enter a car if it's completely still. So how about just carrying my car alongside? Will that work? Well, no, because again, I passed the cutscene trigger with nothing. You actually need to be inside your car when you reach this rock. And that's exactly when, like a car going 90 in a school zone, it hit me. So tethering won't work and carrying it won't work. But what if we combine the two? Here's what I was thinking. Tethering doesn't work because I can't get in the car quick enough, right? Well, what if I carry my car just a little bit ahead in the race, tether it up, and then hop in? At first, I thought this was pretty much impossible because the time frame was just too small for me to react. But then I remembered that this mod actually allows me to slow down time, I guess as some spidey sense. So I carried my car in front, turned on slow-mo, hooked the two cars up, walked to my door, stopped slow-mo, quickly hopped in, and ta-da! My 2 hours of work just paid off. While at first I was celebrating, as I started to go on, I started to get some serious doubts. What if the car gets damaged? What if I just get unlucky with the tethers? That's happened. We got to the cliff area and I was starting to worry again, but thankfully Franklin's ability came in clutch. It lowered the amount of airtime I had, preventing me from falling off the cliff, which again has happened before. That being said, I did go flying, but thankfully everything still stayed on course. So we finally make it to the rock, 2 hours building up and nothing. Yeah, the cutscene should start as soon as you reach this rock, but it just wouldn't trigger. Psych, you should have seen the look on your face. But honestly, that's how I felt at first. I got so lucky. Oh my god, that actually, sorry. That actually worked somehow. Oh dear, it looks like you guys hit something. I swear to God, if anyone comments about that being an elk, I'll dislike your comment. Just please don't. So the hillbillies crash into the woods and all run off to hide. Franklin then calls in Trevor and just my luck, helicopter time. At first I tried carrying it, but no matter what I did, being outside of the helicopter just failed me. And yeah, there wasn't much more for me to test, except for Stanley. Yep, I switched over to him and quickly carried us there. But then there was another problem. The checkpoint to actually start the next cutscene is that yellow ring so big, I'm pretty sure it would give Sonic a wet dream. The only problem, besides that image now being inside your head, is that I can't reach it without flying. But luckily, after a quick restart, I found that putting the helicopter right next to Franklin and then hopping in would start the cutscene. This, unfortunately, is where the good news stops, because it's sniping time. My attempts to turn on my powers were, not the best. And without my powers, I'm basically useless, so, of course, add 2 gunshots to the counter. But just wait, right after that, the game decided to screw me again. By just waiting in the sky, the helicopter would eventually lose altitude and land itself, but here's where things started to get tricky. I couldn't carry the copter no matter what, even with Stanley. I know, when Stanley becomes useless, that's when you should start to worry. Luckily, I had a backup plan. I found that I could slowly tug my helicopter all the way to the helipad. This worked surprisingly well and didn't cause any damage to the copter. The same can't be said about my mental health though. So we drop everyone off, and then it was time to steal some high-tech military hardware from an armored escort, which was, as it sounds, extremely boring. See, the thing about this challenge is that a mission is either the easiest thing in the world, or it can be, I want to die. Now with the hardware, we could finally do the pre-heist for the actual heist, and we got the entire crew. The original 3, Lester and Mr. Eyeballs over here. We get to the bank and, you know, it's the usual holdup. Hostages break into the vault, pour gasoline on the hostages' heads for fun, wonder how your life came to this. The basics. Things were all sunshine and rainbows until we go outside. Now, fighting is just fine for me. I'm a killing machine. But then this helicopter came into view. Now, I wasn't all too worried. I can't count the amount of times I've taken down a copter. Well, in most cases, I was the one who was flying. But anyways, I hop up, pull the pilot out, and then nothing. The ghost of the pilot was haunting the helicopter. No, no, the game just only accepts bullets. I had already known this was the case, but I just wanted to give it one more try. And as I web zipped up, I misclicked and instead did my spin throw attack. Now, what you have to understand is I didn't know I had a spin throw attack. So I went ahead and used it on the helicopter, and surprisingly, it worked. No more 2-hour testing needed, it just worked. Man, I wish so bad for this to be canon. Michael and his experimental government supersuit fighting off the cops, and Trevor next to him in jeans. So getting to Franklin, who was the getaway driver, he's now in a bulldozer that apparently we can't carry because it's too heavy. Great, this is gonna take forever. Surprisingly, for once in this entire game's wretched life, things were actually kinda easy. So we slowly tugged it all over, Michael and Trevor got in, and now it's time for our big escape. So finishing off the mission, we hop on a train and ta-da! We now have $400,000 in the bank. Think about all of the possibilities. Okay, so I've been looking at charts for about 30 minutes now, and I've decided that none of it makes any sense. It doesn't matter anyways. I'll just dump it into a random company and hope I don't rob them later. Then it was time for another heist, but this time with a train. We start off with Trevor, and we have to jump off of a ramp onto the train. Now, this is hard even while driving. I mess this jump up all the time, so now imagine not being able to drive. Yeah, hell is a place, and it's here on Earth. It's this one railroad. At first, I thought that this was just impossible. The game wants you to actually drive on top of the train. So, in other words, carrying the bike won't work here. I found that out the hard way. I spent an hour carrying the bike to the front just to find out that it doesn't work. Now, to try tethering, and surprise, this sucked. Tethering everything up was easy, but actually getting on the train was anything but. You could sit there for hours trying to tether and web zip on at the right time just to fling yourself on and off. Or you could just get lucky like me. Again, I am not touching the keyboard in any way right here. I just got that lucky. So now that we're actually on the train, yet there's another problem. The game wants us to drive up to the front of the train. It's so insistent about this that I'm not even able to get off my bike. But luckily, switching to Stanley automatically forces me off. Now on to even more problems. We can't pick up the bike for some reason when it's on the train, so I need to pick it up off the ground. The only problem is that the game fails me if I fall off the train, or so I thought. See, the game doesn't fail you for leaving the train, but instead, the game fails you off of your elevation. So, in other words, you can go above the train, just not below it. This is all handy because there's a mountain literally right next to us. I was able to abuse this by using web bombs. I would throw one and then I would instantly teleport there. Now off of the train, I picked up the bike, carefully web swinged over all the way to the first carriage, web zipped on, let go of the bike, tethered it to the train so that it doesn't fall off, switch back to Trevor, and congratulations, you've just wasted an hour. But now for the train. I can't cheese this in any way. Was this, all for nothing? Well, yes, because it's extremely pointless and stupid, but challenge-wise, we are surprisingly safe. The train doesn't need to be moved forward. You can just sit there and coast off of past momentum all the way to our destination. Man, I've got to become a train conductor. Just sit around and do nothing all day. Well, granted, that's already what I basically do. Switching over to Michael, we were on the ground waiting for Trevor. Oh, this vehicle is so cool. It's part boat, part submarine. I didn't know that. Oh, okay, we're just sinking. There was then another crash, and thankfully it wasn't my game crashing this time. Thank God. Instead, it was 2 trains. So many bodies. This entire heist was about collecting some precious cargo from the wreck, but unfortunately, it was behind these doors that need to be blown open. Web bombs didn't work, but surprisingly, wind blasts did. I don't know how, but I won't complain. Protect Michael from Mary weather. Really? Why? He's taking them all out single-handedly. Yeah, I was somehow controlling Michael through Trevor's POV. I don't like to think about it much because it keeps me up at night. Our massacre was just dandy. We found the cargo we needed, but now a chase. Luckily, I didn't need to drive, but I had to take out these troops and they were completely ignoring my webs. That is until something happened. I'm not sure. There was a lot of blood and screaming. Now that I think about it, how many times have we fought these Merryweather guys? How have they not ID'd us yet? Oh, right, because I'm drenched in the only witnesses. Anyways, now time for the heist. Oh, no, not the final heist. There's still about 10 more of those, but this is the one we robbed the bank for. The heist starts off with us driving a boat and immediately running into a problem. It can't get any better than this. Carrying the boat too far is a quick fail, so instead, I just swam with it. This was honestly really nice, like a little vacation for me, if you look past the murder. This was all easy peasy stuff, including the combat.
Your job is to keep this covert and non-lethal.
Okay, non-lethal. I got this. I just need to focus and I should be fine. Oh my god, so much blood, it's everywhere! My fun little adventure ended here though because we have to fly this helicopter. I can drag it to its destination, but it needs to be flown in order to pick up some cargo. So flying is just necessary. You notice how I haven't even mentioned what this heist is about? We're actually saving the world from a deadly toxin, but it doesn't matter. It's just another heist. Another heist! Even getting to see Michael in a skin-tight swimsuit won't save this mission, or my sanity. We then dropped off the toxin, and that was that mission done. All in all, not too bad. It only caused like one major mental breakdown. Trevor then returned his love interest / hostage to Mr. Madrazo, and surprisingly, this was quite somber. Not really sad, not happy either, just somber. She was reminiscing about all their good memories, and poor Trevor just had butterflies in his stomach. It was that, or literal butterflies. I mean, he'll eat anything. You can never tell with that guy. What's actually happening in the story right now? Like, seriously, either none of it makes any sense or my brain just stopped working along the way. And honestly, I don't? What was I saying? Where am I? We then met back up with Trevor, and apparently his bloodlust isn't over yet, nor is his normal lust because he took Mr. Jam. Speaking of jam, Trevor was making a PB&J when he spilt it everywhere. Yeah, no need to question it anymore. Also, Floyd, he took a vacation. Yeah. I heard heaven has incredible weather this time of year. After that, Trevor then acquisitioned his own strip club. Yeah, he's quite the savvy businessman. If I remember correctly, there was a merger. He merged the old manager's skull with a baseball bat. The next meetup was at Trevor's strip club, and after climbing on a wall a little bit, I somehow accidentally got weighed into a fight with 2 strippers. This is not a joke.
They only play like 6 songs here. It's kind of making me crazy.
Okay, wait. I've been there before, but pleading insanity won't give you a lighter sentence. This mission was planning out the final heist. The big one. And apparently it's just stealing from the government again. That's a great idea. Remember all the other times we've stolen from them? It's always been amazing. Just amazing. I repeat, amazing. This next mission was really just scouting, checking the government bank's entrances, that sort of stuff. It would have been pretty lame, but I did get to take Lester for a walk. You should take your Lester on a walk about twice a day. All of the fun I was having quickly disappeared when I realized what this mission was. Almost purely helicopters. In short, we have to trail some bank trucks from above. Yeah, in even shorter terms, I'm screwed. Even though I knew it was basically gonna be impossible, I went ahead and tried my testing anyways. I picked up the helicopter and brought it to its destination. Problem number 1 has already arisen. The game wants me to fly to start a cutscene, so I started to process everything. That could take me a while. I think I'm running Windows Vista in the old noggin. That's exactly when, bam, out of nowhere, the trucks we were meant to tail ran into me, causing a fail. And surprisingly, this fail caused a checkpoint. I have no clue on how or why that worked. If If I remember correctly, Sun Tzu once said, you should keep your plans so secretive that you don't even know what they are. Then another major problem immediately showed its fat, ugly face. We are now in the air. This may not sound bad, but when we're in the air, the only thing I can do is this. And considering Lester dies on contact with the outside world like an unvaccinated child, it's not very useful. So I messed around trying to web zip, tether, and carry, but none of it worked. These were all just desperate attempts delaying the inevitable. Honestly, I was just glad I made it this far. But that's when I accidentally hit my web grenade button, and I noticed the oddest thing. When thrown, my web bombs actually lowered down the helicopter safely. I'm being serious. Me throwing an explosive at the helicopter made it land safely. I couldn't make that up even if I tried. Okay, so now after the web bombs, we're on the ground safely. But what does that get me? Well, now I have my full moveset, and more importantly, we can follow the trucks. And then again, this led to problems. Me carrying around the copter would sometimes randomly fail me, or Lester would just hop out, basically killing himself. The hardest part about all of this is that this mission is about indiscretion. If these trucks see us, then we're basically screwed. We needed to stay back. So, at my most desperate and stupidest moment, a brilliant thought came to mind. Do you think these trucks would notice if they started to drag around a 15-ton helicopter? No, that wouldn't work, right? Why is it working? Yeah. To my shock, this utterly brain-dead strategy actually worked. Lester was not dying, which happens all the time for no reason, so that's good, and we were also actually going through a lot of the dialogue. I wasn't getting my hopes up though, because the amount of times I've had a foolproof plan that turned out to be full of crap was more times than I could count. We slowly made our way to the bank, the trucks pulled in, I untethered, jumped in, and the cutscene started. It somehow worked. I know what you may be thinking. Oh, so what? You made just a teensy bit of progress. But man, this felt so awesome after testing so long. But wait, the game isn't done crapping in my Cheerios yet. This right here is probably the hardest part yet. The bank is also having some construction done nearby, and we need to hover the helicopter still while Lester takes some photos. Okay, well, it's been great, but I think we finally hit the limit. I mean, the game literally tells you to hover. But thankfully, my stupidity knows no bounds. So, after testing many different spots to no avail, dropping the helicopter right here and then hopping in allowed Lester to take all the photos he needed, which were... holy crap, this heist is screwed, isn't it? Finally beating this mission, you have to understand, was 4 hours. It felt like solving a puzzle with no solution. Still, as Trevor, we go to visit our friend Michael at his home. Something I actually recently learned was that all of these cutscenes are motion captured. Like, have you ever noticed that in these scenes they look so much more lifelike? Okay, bad example. This mission involves Trevor learning about the dark past that happened all the way back in the prologue. If I remember correctly, Michael set Trevor up, Brad got shot, Dave got all the glory, there were aliens at one point, I forgot to take my meds, and then Lester was riding a dinosaur. And that pretty much has you caught up. What's this mission about again? Right, all you need to know is that Michael backstabbed Trevor, and Trevor is just now realizing. I started this mission as Trevor, so we ran away, and the game wanted me to fly. Obviously, that's not good. But the weird thing is, I remember doing this mission before, yeah, but differently. I remember doing it as Michael. So I went back, and surprisingly, yeah, you can start this mission as either Michael or Trevor.
You know where I'm going! Fuck you!
Yeah, mainly because I'm currently on the hood of your car. Hello. Interestingly, while I was on the hood of my car, I looked away and Trevor changed gender while in my car. That, or he's wearing some poor innocent woman as a skin suit, which in that case, you can keep my car now. And I know that's my car because it has dollar wheel tires. Nobody's taste is that bad, besides me. Anyways, Trevor flew off to Ludendorff, where the game started, so we're following him. Hey, Michael, I know that you're a murderer, thief, and backstabber of friends, but man, there are some lines you don't cross. And this This is one of them. There's a special ring in hell for people like you. So Michael meets up with Trevor and Brad. Hey, buddy, you look different. Huh, let me guess, a haircut? And 10 years of decomposing? So, being serious, Michael set Trevor up and Brad got the rotting end of the stick. Trevor is only learning Brad is dead now. Our family reunion is cut short, however, by some Chinese gangsters who want to kidnap Michael because they think he's Trevor's boyfriend. It's just kind of funny because Trevor isn't... Okay, well, Michael isn't gay. Getting back to Trevor, we find him flying back to Los Santos. And you guessed it, I'm in pain. I spent 4 hours on this mission. I could tell you all of the little secret strategies I came up with, or I could just show you this amazing revelation I had. See, there's this secret button combination that really helped out. Just purposely fail 3 times, then press enter, and ta-da! I have nothing to show for my 4 hours of work. There were a lot of problems here, but the main one is that the plane, before making a proper landing, will explode at even the slightest bump. Like, look, here's a plane falling that's already been landed, right? Okay, and now here's a plane that hasn't been landed yet. I even tethered the plane to the ground so that it would land on its wheels, and it somehow still blew up. That right there is the exact moment where I just said screw it. With that mission finally done, the first thing I did was walk into a propeller. Why? Do I have to explain? I think you might get it by now. I'm stupid. This was all normal until I woke up as Michael. Wait, what? Michael's supposed to be kidnapped right now. My brain is hurting. Oh no. Oh, please don't lead to a massive crash. Yeah, I can't explain this, like any of it. But anyways, now on to this mission. And oh my god, this mission. I could just say 2 words and anyone who's ever played GTA 5 would understand my pain. Car transport, the mother of all tow truck missions. I have to bring this trailer across the map without carrying it. This was horrible. So horrible, in fact, that I live streamed it so that I could share some of my pain. My first step was to just pull on the trailer all the way there, but that didn't work out for 2 reasons. 1, it was too slow, and 2, oh, whoa. I'm in the truck. I'm in the truck. Please. Let me out. So, when a viewer recommended to just drag the truck with a tether, I gave it a try, because what's the worst that can happen? You're waiting for me to cut to something horrible, huh? You can't predict me. What am I gonna say next, huh? Elongated banana, exactly. No, being serious, this tethering strategy worked surprisingly well. Now, you may be wondering, why didn't I use it for the other tow trucks? Well, there are many complex reasons, but the main one is that I just didn't think of it. After the first little hiccups, things were going great. And then the cops got involved. This was actually a good thing, because the game let me switch to Franklin, and Trevor could now drive the truck. The only problem now is pretty much everything else. See, I took out the first cop, and no others spawned. So I just waited it out, but unfortunately, it turns out that more cops should have spawned, and I got mission failed. It turns out that you need to be inside the car for cops to spawn. Don't ask, I don't know why. So, in order to spawn all the cops in, we will have to follow a simple strategy that we've already done before. Remember the hillbilly chase? Carry the car in front of the truck, stop time, tether, and then just hop back into the car? Yeah, right, it's the exact same thing. Except I have to do it continuously 3 times over while having the cops shooting at my face. Luckily, I tend to over-exaggerate a bit, and this wasn't that bad. I found that I could tether the truck to the floor and stop it for a little bit while I took care of the cops and got back in my car. This does not mean it was easy. Far from it. Regardless, finally off of stream now, I was able to finish off the last couple of cops, all in style. And in terrible debt, because there's no way the insurance company is covering this. So we drop off the cars and surprise, surprise, we're not getting paid. Come on! After all that work? Fine, I can play that way too. I'm pretty sure the cops would love to hear about your lack of payment. Right! I murdered them all.
That is a short-sighted and frankly immature way of seeing things, Mr. Clinton.
Of course I'm looking at it frankly. I'm frankly... Okay, I don't think I could bear myself to actually say that one. We then decided to finally go save Michael from those gangsters, but first we had to meet Trevor for some info. Some info that I didn't really listen to, cause it ain't really a life and death situation. Right.
What did Trevor say?
I don't know, but he won't be saying anything ever again after I'm done using his body as a makeshift soccer ball. We then had to track down Michael, and this short little adventure made me realize that the real Michael was inside of us all along. Like, literally, he keeps on popping out of my skin when I die. It's starting to get a little creepy. Regardless, we found him and got to see how he's hanging in. Get it? Because he's getting brutally tortured. You fools underestimate me. Say hello to my little friend. His name is Stanley. Hey, buddy, you need help getting out of there? I just realized I'm talking to a corpse. What is wrong with me? We eventually find Michael, and he's completely covered in guts. Sorry, I mean guards. Although soon he will be covered in the guards' guts. Aww, look, this guy is friendly. It's so good to see that people can change their ways and realize what they've done is wrong. That being said, we then got back to Michael, and this scene gave me a lot of trouble. The game wants you to sit there and shoot. At first, using my mods absolutely bugged the hell out of everything. Like, we're talking McDonald's kitchen level of bugs. Franklin would kill all the guards, but for some reason the game would then softlock. So after restarting my computer and mods, everything worked now. I don't know. It was confusing, and what came next was even more confusing. Franklin walks into a hallway, a man tackles the air, hugs it, he gets blasted away, now Franklin teleports to the ground, and Michael shoots himself free with an invisible gun. I want to shoot myself free. With Michael now free, I found an extremely helpful fight tactic, just running into people fast. It was surprisingly deadly. For me, yeah, I died a lot. We eventually made it through all the guards, literally, again with the running, and escaped back to Michael's place. He gave a surprisingly heartfelt speech while Franklin held a bike and impaled Michael with his webs. Or at least I think this is happening. You can see this too, right? We then got to play as Michael, finally, and it's time to meet our movie friend. Considering how it went last time, someone please help me. Yeah, believe it or not, I'm not all too excited. We get there to find the same turd we beat up before, now beating up a poor defenseless man. Ugh. The cycle of violence never ends. Once you start it, you just pass it on to someone else like a disease. Anyways, let's add to that disease. They got into a car and I immediately realized it was a chase mission and they're already moving. Right, time to clear out my schedule. Not that there was anything on there besides crying in the shower, but then the gods up at Rockstar saw my plight of previous missions and decided to bless me. This isn't a chase, instead, it's a hunt. My car is an unnecessary distraction. I can go all out.
I tried to fly!
We then went to see Lester about the final big heist we're planning when Thing 1 and Thing 2 appear. Okay, that was harsh. Thing 1 and Steve. They tell us that they need one more little itty bitty heist for them. We need to break into the FIB headquarters and delete some data about our dealings. Our first task is to find a way into the building, and a janitor disguise would be perfect. So we have to tail one. Well, tail isn't really the right word. Hey, watch where you're going. I'm up here. Man, some people are so inconsiderate to their stalkers. We had a little talk with the janitor guy, and he was quite chill with getting his identity stolen. I mean, I wouldn't fight for that face either. With that done, Michael goes home to a house with no family to sit and sulk and sip from his spider bar. Okay. I know that you're having a midlife crisis or whatever, but leave Spider-Bot's fluids alone. Then, out of the blue, Jimmy heartfeltly comes along to ask us to come back, and also asks for a new car. I would buy him one, but it's just my stocks. They're gonna hit any day now. But besides that, we decided to get the family together through unimaginable pain and suffering on those who have wronged us. It's not Stockholm Syndrome if you're married to them, am I right? We first talked to our wife, did some of that good old-fashioned torturing I was talking about, and after convincing her to give it another shot, we are on to Tracy. Now, she's with that sleazeball Laszlo, remember, from Fame or Shame? So, we're gonna give him a little lesson by giving him the teeniest little punk Oh! Needless to say, the mods kind of broke this section, alongside Laszlo's face. Surprisingly, from here on out, we could just walk to the therapist with our kids, or I could... Alright, now that I've thought about it, it never hurts to get in some exercise, stretch the good old walking muscles. In therapy, we really got to work things out. Michael threatened to murder everyone in the room about 5 times, and he got it all out of his system. Oh, no, he's still gonna murder other people though. And yeah, just like that, the family is back together. Who knew all it took was just threatening them with violence?
If you find dead bodies, cheap women, or Trevor Phillips, we're checking into the Rockford Hills Hotel.
Oh, come on, give me a little credit. I only get expensive women. Anyways, now that Michael has a family, it's time for Franklin, who is tailing some architect who has details for this big heist we're doing.
You can't be on here without a hat!
Oh, thanks. Safety first and all that jazz. Now on to planning, and I could either go in as a janitor or helicopter in. Ugh. Helicopter. But no, Trevor isn't in this mission, so I won't have to fly at all. And because of that, I'm picking the helicopter route. Michael then met up with his film buddy, and this guy screwed Trevor and Franklin with the cars, so now it's our turn. His colleague took our movie and is gonna destroy it.
Can I take the film now, Mr. Richards?
You know what? You're a real assistant. I would be cruder, but Susan Wojcinski is about 5 seconds away from blowing up this channel. I again thought that this was gonna be another chase mission where I'd have to spend hours upon hours testing, but nope, sitting on the roof of her car just works. Holy crap, you're really good at killing cops. Like, really good. I do have an open spot on this heist I'm running. Okay, yeah, not time for small talk. Anyways, we chased Molly down, and she went from Molly to, well, a pile of organs. I was gonna make a pun here, but no. And now, time for Franklin. We get a text telling us that the heist is ready, and since I planned it out perfectly, I should be able to sit back and relax. The game wanted me to fly, so, yeah. We hired a pilot! Why are we letting the half-drunk, half-dead, middle-aged man on the brink of divorce fly? This was a major complication, because I was able to make it to our destination, but... You see that golden ring up in the sky like before? That's where I need to go to start the next cutscene. And yeah, it's kind of unreachable for me. When planning, the real reason I picked this over the janitor job is because in the janitor job, we need to plant C4 on a building and then blow it up. Last time I checked, Spider-Man doesn't use napalm. I thought this would be the lesser of two evils. For the challenge, I mean. And morally, I guess as well, if we're gonna pretend that I still have a working conscience. This all turns out to be wrong though, because in the janitor job, the C4 is planted via cutscene and therefore is allowed. Now all I've gotta do is reload my missions all the way back and pick that instead. This plan actually required a getaway car and a little bit of planning. Because this is an extremely serious mission, I made sure to pick out something that could take gunfire but also outspeed the cops. You expected a stupid car, huh? You won't catch me doing the same joke twice, except for this joke about me commenting on my own predictability, which I've already done. I've spent an hour trying to get this car. Leave me alone, okay? Next up is a fire truck. And where can we find fire trucks? Right, at a fire station. Or at a fire. Burn, 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 burn. All right, boys, good luck with that one. Now, with that senseless destruction out of the way, we can... Oh, you can also just call fire trucks, right? Now, I'm finally back to where I was before, and it has only been, let's see. Right, 2 hours.
Hey, how you doing?
Well, I don't know. Besides my uncontrollable constant muscle spasms, pretty good. Anyways, this is it. All of that time I've spent reloading missions, getting getaway cars, it's all for this. Let's go, pump that action right into my veins. So, yeah, time for some janitorial work. Wait, so you're telling me Michael will kill without second thought, but he won't enter the women's bathroom? Wow, this says a lot about, well, me, because I tried going into the women's bathroom. Ugh, another hard day at work. All right, well, I'll see you boys later. Michael gets out of the building, and after a little boom boom, it's time for the firefighters, us, to enter. All right, everybody, don't worry, we're here. Also, don't ask why one of us is just wearing a hat and a wife beater. It's fine. Fire isn't really that deadly anyways. It's mostly just overhyped. We got to where all of the data is stored, and there was a door we had to blow open. At first, I was a little bit worried, but it turns out that air blasts did just the trick. This was all fun and stuff, but it's about time to leave, and thankfully, this elevator shaft has some sort of repelling system, I think. Or maybe not. Yeah, that works too. I didn't want to be alive anyways, sure. We escaped, properly this time, and made our smooth getaway. We get back, celebrate a little with Lester, but we're not done yet. We need to tell Dave, our cop buddy, that we're done for real this time. And I know we've said that about every single time, but this time it's for real. But of course, it's not that simple, because Dave backstabbed Michael, who then got backstabbed by Steve. Steve then got backstabbed by Agent Sanchez, who's been an undercover agent, and then the FIB showed up, and then the US government showed up, and then Merryweather also showed up. Now, if I'm keeping track correctly, right, so multiply by 2, carry the 1, and yeah, we're screwed. I took out the guys near me pretty easily, but then a helicopter comes in. And what's worse is that Trevor comes in. Now there are 2 major problems here. 1, this is a sniping section, and 2, I have to constantly listen to Trevor moaning. For my first attempt, I tried using tethers, and after that soft-locked me to hell, I realized that this copter obviously needs to be shot. Luckily, my mod worked perfectly, and I was able to throw a bench as a replacement bullet. There isn't too much to say here, because the combat at this point is becoming quite easy. We escape, thanks to Trevor's help, and now he demands that we do one more heist, the big one. And you know what? Fine, but only if it's the last one. God, I'm sounding like Michael. Now, as Franklin, we learn that Lamar is again in trouble because of another bad deal. Have you noticed this? We have a car deal going great, Lamar joins in, and then we all get screwed. We kidnap someone with Lamar and get screwed. Coke deal and get screwed. This man is the modern day King Midas, except instead of gold, everything he touches turns into a steaming pile of dog crap that's been sitting in a dumpster for several months. So will I save him? Sure, why not? After quickly saving Lamar, which was nothing more than just a couple of punches, all we had to do was bring him back home. Lamar, don't run. I only want to tether you to the back of my car like the piñata you were always born to be. I'm so glad I got an easy mission for once. What's next?
You're gonna take old Trevor and put him out to pasture, homie.
You're funny. Oh, you're not joking, are you? No, Trevor is like the Joker if his mother drank while pregnant. I'm not going anywhere near that. Michael's movie is now finally coming out, and we have to buy something nice for the occasion, which shouldn't be a problem oh, no. Ugh, let me check something. Oh yeah, a 1% return exchange for my Vangelico stock. I'm living good. Now's the time to cash out, right? This is not a joke. It's been 5 seconds. What the hell happened? I can't sell it now because I won't make a profit. Oh no. I'm gonna have to stalk till the day I die, don't I? So after that financial crisis, we got to see our movie, but halfway through, our buddy here told us that he has our family held hostage. So yeah, time to go save them. Are you alright? Oh, thanks for asking. Who said that? Did I already detach your jaw from your skull? Because if so, I apologize. That was really kind of you. So we save everyone, including this clown who's in my house for some reason. I don't really know who they are. Now time for the final big heist. And again, time for the strip club. Wait, I didn't even do anything this time. Okay, that was a tiny little lie, but I took one step near them and suddenly it's a death match, like that's my fault. So it's time for planning, and our two options are either using a helicopter. Okay, so our one option is to hijack the gold through pretending to be bank employees. Now, it was a hard decision, so don't ask why there was blood on the board and a dead Lester in the corner of the room. For the heist, we had to steal some getaway cars, and getting the cars was kinda hard. I had to look at maps, words, just thinking is not my forte. You could say it was a real gauntlet. Cause it's like the car's name. Ow, how did one of you throw a rotten apple at me? This is a pre-recorded video, that doesn't even make sense. And now, time for the final heist. Everything in the game, everything has been building to this. So it all starts off with intercepting some bank trucks under a tunnel and replacing the drivers with our own guys. Everything was just fine. At first, I put the car into position and dropped the stinger, but oh, no, obviously faked shock to the point of sarcasm. The game wants us to drive away. Who knew that it would screw me over? I did, because it's all this game does. So yeah, we needed to move, and if we didn't, the game fails me. So add 1 to the counter, or so I thought, because the game just teleported me. Is this a gift, Rockstar, for all the pain and suffering you've put me through? Well, it's far from enough, because I'm gonna have to spend a fortune on a shrink, but the gesture is appreciated. And you know what gesture you can appreciate? Yeah, take that. Right, sorry, I don't have a face cam. You can't see it, but I'm flipping the game off. We hop into the trucks, pretending to be bank employees, and the game wanted me to drive. I started to worry because the game locked me in, but I was still able to carry it, so we're in the clear. I took it all to the bank, dropped it off, and I couldn't get back in my car without breaking the window, and very obviously giving away my cover. I mean, this guard by the gate will notice something is wrong, right? Okay, he might just be blind. Yeah, there were basically no suspicions while we took the gold, even though Trevor, as usual, looked like he had just done a mountain of cocaine. And Michael, well, Michael wasn't much better. So we take the gold, load it up into our trucks, and get away with a quick tether. There was one little problem though, because the Merryweather guys that we keep on robbing for some reason are following us. Thankfully, we hacked into the traffic light system and were able to create the perfect path. This all worked perfectly, until it didn't. Yeah, there was a shootout. Let me tell you, the only people making bank today besides us are gonna be doctors and plastic surgeons. After taking everyone out, we took the gold from the trucks and put it into our own cars. It was all good. I was able to carry my car and stand on Michael's, but then we had to pull into these trucks, and this is where it all went off the rails. See, our plan is to drive our cars into these trucks to lose the cops while under a short tunnel. You can see how this went. I can't drive into the truck. So instead, I web zipped in and I frantically put the car down. It fell outside, and this was about the moment where I realized that I may be screwed. I tried tethering it back in, and then I started to nearly fall off the truck myself. But after running back inside, I used some more tethers and was just barely able, through some extreme luck, to pull it in. Now, the main problem is that I actually need to get inside my car to start the next cutscene. So I started to mash the enter key, but the tunnel was gonna end soon and our cover would be gone. We would be screwed. But alas, I somehow finally found my way into the car. Okay, yes, the game did glitch out the first little bit and nearly gave me a heart attack, but I was finally done. Ugh, I can relax and... God damn it. You again? Could you at least let me finish my sentence? So, anyways, whatever his name is here tells me to kill Michael, and the feds told me to kill Trevor. But you know what? I'm loyal. I would never go back on the friends I've made and who've put me in the position where I am now. It's just not morally right. What am I doing? Oh, just, quick saving in case I need to... Actually, you don't need to know. We called Lester for some help with our problem, and on my way over to his house, I tried out first-person swinging. Here's a quick tip. Don't. Lester then gave us a plan. We're all gonna work together and get Devin and Steve at one trap. They'll think that we'll be melting the gold we stole, but actually, we'll be waiting for them with our guns. It's foolproof. So step 1, get Lamar... Okay, we're screwed. Okay, enough complaining. I got Lamar and brought him to the factory. Okay, Lamar, we're here. Lamar, where are you? Oh, okay. We're here now. Merryweather came as soon as I met up with Michael, and this fight was... intense. Explosions, body parts everywhere. Just another Thursday for Trevor. It was insane. We go from endless hordes of trained militiamen to helicopters, which thankfully went down with just a single swing attack. My real problem was keeping my compatriots alive while I flipped over and breakdanced all over the enemy. And then here was the biggest surprise of it all. Lamar didn't screw anything up. But anyways, now with that done, each of us had our own final targets to wrap everything up. And since vehicles don't matter here, this is just playtime. First, with Franklin, we're taking care of those Chinese gangsters that kidnapped Michael. Luckily, they're all in a car. You can see where this went. Oh, don't worry, this isn't personal, and it never will be. But it will be fun. How are you guys with Heights, huh? Oh, we'll see. Sayonara, mis amigos. Wait, that was Spanish. They're Chinese. Come back. Let me redo my kill line. Oh, okay. You're, still alive. Cool. Well, how do you like getting dropped off this building, huh? Okay, nothing. Or, how do you like getting hung up like this? Or, wow, I'm running out of ideas. Oh, wait, one more. All right, it's been fun, fellas, but it's time for you guys to check out. See ya. Twirl, twirl, twirl. They're alive? How? Alright, I'm starting to regret messing with you guys. I'll give you all my money, just forget I exist. Okay, how about some water? Can the indestructible men swim? No, they can't. The next hit was a lot more simple. Michael was taking out one of Lamar's old friends. Hey, I think there's some mail for you. Get it? Because I just gave someone brain damage with a mailbox. Trevor's hit was surprisingly the most tame, and wow, I've never seen such poignant character development. We just punch one quick guy and that's it. No blood. It's all good. Sure, it was on live TV, scarring thousands, but let's ignore that for the story. We go over to that prick Devin's house, take out all of his guards, and then kidnap him with his own car. We said bon voyage, and that was the story of how I tried to beat GTA 5 as Spider-Man. But where are Franklin, Trevor, and Michael now? Well, immediately afterwards, Michael's Vangelico stock shot up by 6%. His Merryweather stock, on the other hand, was debt-inducing. Regardless, this small victory hooked Michael onto stocks, and he currently owns at least one of every single company that exists. Needless to say, with all of his money gone, he started to spiral, and Amanda took the kids again. Franklin, on the other hand, got into collecting, buying and customizing only the most luxurious cars money could buy. He couldn't drive any of them, but he just liked how they looked. He too is now in horrible debt. And now Trevor. Trevor actually got his life back on track and bought a golf course with his part of the heist money. Heh, just kidding. Trevor seemingly disappeared off of the face of the earth, never to be seen again, except for the occasional hitchhiker kidnapping. And as for me, well, I'm gonna saddle up and get back on that torture train. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll, see you next time. Oh, and remember to subscribe.